Hello, so in today's video I'm going to show you how to create a nice transitional background. This is a complete beginner's class, so for the more advanced this tutorial might be too easy, but if you are new to watercolors and would like to see how the magic is made, how the beautiful wet on wet technique is created from scratch, then please keep on watching. So first of all, I use 100% cotton paper. You can find cheaper ones and more expensive ones. And I did not find much of a difference, but the one I'm using is by Art Philosophy and it's actually a cheaper one. And I can lift color, I can blend very nicely, so I'm very satisfied with it. The brush I'm using is called Rafael Softaqua. I will write everything down in the description of the video. And I just use clear water here. So there is no color, nothing on my brush, just the water. And I have sketched out an illustration and very carefully I paint around the figures. I don't know how much you can actually see from it, but once I add the colors it will be more visible. So basically this is a background tutorial. So the main thing that I want to achieve now is to fill the background with color. So using complementary colors, which is going to be yellow and purple, I'm going to create a nice, vibrant, but very soft. But these two words are contradictory, I think. But yeah, it's vibrant in a way that these colors are complementary. So complementary colors will always make something pop. But I use plenty of water, so it's going to turn out very soft and very mild. I don't know how to say it. So now you can start to see, as I'm adding the yellow color, I believe that I'm using, I might be using Schmincke, I think, but I don't actually remember. But for the yellow part, there is really no difference between the brands because it's the easiest, I think, or I believe it's the easiest shade to make. So using this same brush, I apply the color and it blends very softly, very beautifully. And I hope you can see it here that I just drop basically a piece of, like a drop of paint, and then I drag it around. So it's not much to do, not much technique that is required, and it's a very beautiful blended soft kind of yellow. I don't think that right now on my phone or on my computer I can see a blended very yellow color, but it is what I used. It was a yellow shade. And then I realized that it's not colorful enough for me, so I added some extra. But the main thing here is to keep the whole part that you would like to use as background wet. So I'm not going to wait until it dries because then you can see some hard edges. And I will just keep working on it until I'm happy. So now between the figures there is some extra background that I have not painted yet, and I'm just going to add the same technique, some clear water, and then add some color to it. So if you are new to watercolors, then what I would recommend is to get a very good quality paper, and everything else will just fall into place. Like if you can't afford expensive paint or expensive brushes, that's okay. But if you use cheaper quality paper that is not 100% cotton or at least 50% cotton, then you will not be happy with the end result, you will not be satisfied, and in the end you will quit watercolor. I know this because I was so unhappy with some of my works that I created, and I just thought I'm not as talented as everybody else. And when I learned that this is basically because of the paper, like my paintings became really good, or much better. I wouldn't say they are really good, but much better than they were. And I keep improving, so that's a good thing. So now I am happy with the end result, and I'm just going to wait until it dries. And here you can see that it has dried, and again I'm going to add a layer of clear water just like before. And the other thing I was going to mention that I know that I kept searching for when I watched other people painting is what's on my hand, and it's called a tablet glove, and it's basically preventing you from smudging your art piece. So when you paint with watercolor, you use a lot of water, and your body produces oils, and if you smudge it from your skin to the paper, then the water, the paint that you will apply later, will not be smoothed so evenly. It will not be so beautiful as you would like, and especially sometimes when you touch your art piece when it's not ready yet, you can later see the fingerprints on it when you try to apply water. So here you can see that I keep adding water, I keep adding a very diluted purple shade that is just to create the transition between the yellow and the purple. And since these two colors are complementary, it is kind of difficult to not to create a harsh looking background, because complementary colors, they are the most contrasty with each other. So that means that when you want to create a highlight of, for example, yellow and a shade of purple, then these two colors have the largest contrast possible. So here you can see that I'm gradually adding more and more of that purple, and my goal here is to leave the area around these two people in the middle yellow, completely yellow, so that when you look at the final result, the final illustration that is ready, you will immediately focus on these two people. And a lot of people don't like using warm colors as the background, because the background, they say that the background color should be receding, so it looks further away from you, and then you can focus on the people or the figure that is painting, the main subject. But I like to play with this idea of having sunlight or a warm colored wall. For example, in this case, this is a kitchen that is painted yellow, so the walls are yellow, which is something I think a lot of people have, or many people have, not this brightly colored yellow, but a soft, like an eggshell or something like that. So here you can see how I, just using a lot of water, create something that is like the purple is gradually becoming darker towards the corners. So I'm just going to keep adding lightly colored purple washes and lots of water until I'm happy with the transition. And this is such an easy way to create beautiful backgrounds. It's a very simple technique, and here in this example I use very light colors, but you can make it as dark as you wish, because this is the base of all of the transitional background techniques. So later on we will learn something more complicated and more like intricate, but just to show you how it is done from the beginning as a beginner, how you can create something beautiful, here it is. Thank you for watching, and here is the final result. Have a lovely day. Bye.